Hello and welcome, everybody. Jay Fazette here, and you are listening to the JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit show. And I take this out of my ear because I have some weird feedback. I'm going to guess I killed my mic altogether. So, welcome. We have an incredibly exciting show for you today. And on today's incredibly exciting show, I have a very dear friend of mine. His name is Cody Burch, and Cody Burch is going to be with us. And Cody Burch is going to exercise exceptional patience from me while I'm trying to figure out using a brand new, using a brand new bit of software that allows us to share screens, that allows us to have cool conversations, that allows us to have some fun. So on that note, Cody, welcome. How the heck are you?
I'm doing awesome, Jay. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to share this great content with everybody. It's going to be great.
I'm totally excited about it as well, but I'm just looking at our heads and it was like, I look like I have monster head of the universe. I need to back up. So a couple of things. I want to set the stage for what's about to occur here, which is this. Cody Burch, first and foremost, brilliant guy, dear friend, amazing client, author of something called the 1 Hour Funnel. And quite literally, just this morning, I was having conversations with my lead group about people trying to master funnels. And many of you know that I won the 2 Comma Club Award at Funnel Hacking Live this year, which is one funnel that generates over $1 million, which we've done a whole bunch of the pieces. Just put that in perspective. Like we didn't just do $1 million. In fact, I think we were doing $1 million in that funnel before the 2 Comma Club Award even existed. But the thing that people don't necessarily understand is that was not our first funnel. We did umpteen funnels before we got something that began to click and we had a system that worked all the way through. Now, Cody, on that note, while I say that, how many funnels do people go through before they get a winner generally? Like, do you have any wild guess about that?
Oh, man. As far as tweaking a funnel, it seems like it's infinite. It's optimizing a headline or an element of the funnel. But as far as actually mixing up the offer, I would say, 10 to 30. Like they'll try this, they'll try that. And myself included. Like I'm sure you're the same way. You don't just launch a funnel and it magically works. Hey, I have an idea, make it, implement it, run it, and then make $1 million. You have to test different things. So for people to find what actually works, it seems like it's that 10 to 20, 10 to 30 range of different offers and invitations that we can make.
Beautiful. Okay, so first and foremost, gang, by the way, hello, Chandralyn. Hello, Richard. Great to see you. And anyone else who's watching, say hello to us. Here's, by the way, a little hint. Click on the video window that you are watching so that it will take you to the broadcast page, because we shared the fact that we were going to do this on all sorts of different pages. But if you type in on a page that's not the broadcast page, we can't see you. So just take your mouse, click on Cody's nose, just for fun and entertainment. Click on Cody's nose. It will take you to the broadcast page. And then we can chat and discuss things back and forth, and I can see who is there. So I just want you to, for any of you who are watching, the reason I was asking you to do this is that for how many of you have you attempted to build a funnel? An opt-in page leading, with a free gift, leading to a one-on-one or to a webinar or to a this or to a that or to a live event or and it just didn't go the way you wanted, and you got pissed off, frustrated, annoyed, and sort of dismissed the process. And if any of you have done that, just type in a hell yeah, so that I know I am not alone. Anyway, so while you're doing that, while you're thinking about that, the thing I want you to understand is this. I want you to understand that funnels are an iterative process. And while, I've often teased people saying is that funnels are equal parts science and dark arts, and you never know which parts come together to make the damn things work. But here's what's beautiful about the show today. And by the way, if you're not aware of this, this is JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit. And it is going to be my, I hesitate to say weekly show, but so I'm going to say it this way. My regular show that I'm going to do on Facebook, that each time we're going to focus on people, today, where that people is Cody. Fun, how to enjoy our process more with entrepreneurship, which always helps. And profit, how to make money. So ideally, today's show will have all three. Cool person. We'll have a little fun and entertainment, and he's going to teach us how to make some money with funnels, because he has demystified this dark arts and science into something he calls funnel triage. And as straight as I can say it, it's freaking brilliant. What would you add to that, Cody, just in terms of how you came up with it before you start diving in and teaching it to us? Like, set the stage for us a little better.
Yeah, so there's two groups of people. There's people who have an idea that they don't know how to express the idea online. So they want to write a book or host an event or sell a widget or something. And that's where the 1 hour funnel process came into play, which we'll talk about a bit. But in short, I took what was working out of all of my clients' campaigns, what was separating the winners from the losers, and then how do we make that really simple to get the basics down, to get that idea to the marketplace as fast as possible, and ideally an hour or less. So that's what the 1 hour funnel process is. The second group of people are like, cool.
I have to stop you for a second. Because the truth of the matter is that funnels have been around for now 12 or 15 years. And most people still don't have one that works. So are you serious that we can actually nail this in an hour?
Yeah, that's the idea. And what I found is getting the messaging down, the marketing down, mapping out the funnel the right way gives you a way better chance of success at the end. And then when it comes to building a funnel, the actual mechanics of, clicking and dragging, the technology's gotten so easy that you can easily build it in way less than an hour once you nail the other stuff. How do I communicate to this market? How do I address their pain points and their frustrations and what keeps them up at night, so I can give them an offer that they want to engage with and consume and opt in for and buy and things like that as well. So yeah, once we nail that first part, then the funnel building part, and this isn't about, should the button be orange or green? Like, it doesn't matter. That's not, maybe at some point, someday with millions and millions of page views, yes, split test the button color, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting the offer right, understanding your market correctly, and making those invitations that they want. And that's what the 1 hour funnel process is.
Very cool. Well, here's the thing. I think that we should just dive right into that process. And the good news is we have now figured out how to share screens. The bad news is that I'm going to have to be your Vanna, and I will click the button as you tell me to, as you're going through and teaching this process.
Yeah, so go to, I think it's slide 3. I've got the slideshow pulled up here as well, but slide 3, those are just some placeholders there as I was kind of mapping out what's the diagram. And so while you're pulling that up, click through to a few slides until you see the stormtroopers on the screen there. What I noticed the second group of people is when they get the funnel launched or the sales system launched, there is a problem when it doesn't work like they thought it was going to work. And then that's where the triage process comes in. So step 1, to get the thing launched, we use a process that I call the 1 hour funnel that's available in the book and other ways to consume that, like what that framework is. But what this training today is cool. I've got this thing out there in the world and it's not doing what I thought it was going to do. And that's what we call funnel triage. And Jay, I'm seeing a black screen. I don't know if I lost you or if I'm in the dark arts void or if you're still there. The screen share went away.
Here for a brief moment. So you should be seeing me and your screen as well. Yes.
Sorry, I lost you there for a minute. What were you saying?
Well, I was just trying to make sure that you could still see the PowerPoint, but you were talking about funnel triage. I actually have a URL which is called launchtrauma.com, which is another way of saying it's like I put the funnel up. There was supposed to be a whole bunch of, and then the trauma ensues, which generally includes wine drinking, crying, cursing, and a variety of other things, just at my house, or so I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay. So, brother, do you want me to have the funnel triage full screen so that's all they can see, or do you want to be able to be seen while you're stepping us through it?
Let's just do the PowerPoint. Now, all I'm seeing is black. Jay, when you do that, are you still there, Jay? People say they can hear me both and see the slides, but I can't see the slides. So Jay, if you can hear me, can you maybe minimize the PowerPoint? Because I've got nothing on here.
Okay. So we are going to have to do it this way.
So I see your face, my face, and then a black screen on where the PowerPoint should be. But it looks like people are seeing it. Well, I don't know how I can see it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know the answer to that, brother. So I'm just going to tell you what's on the screen because I know you have your version there, and then we'll feel our way through that. So
Okay.
we have stormtroopers on the screen. You tell me
Yep.
what to do, and I'll move it along, and then you just follow along on your side. Okay?
Okay, cool. I will do my best to sync up. So just you can start clicking through kind of slowly as I talk through it. But for some context, as Jay kind of mentioned the headlines there, my name's Cody Burch, and I've written a book called The 1 Hour Funnel, and I have a marketing agency called Red Anchor Marketing. We've been around for a few years, helping people sell lots of interesting things online using Facebook ads and funnels. And I also have a podcast that's called Cody Builds a Business, which tracks this whole crazy journey that we're all on. And so what I want to cover today, slide 5, Jay, is this for you? There's a couple different symptoms. So number one, with the red pills on them, assuming that's what you're seeing or something like that, is that you have a funnel that's sick. And Jay and I were thinking through this last week. Like, there's people that have something that really it just needs, your funnel might need some aspirin and a little bit of water, and it needs to take a nap on the couch, and it's going to be better. Like, it's close to working. And hopefully that's where a lot of you are. And then beyond that, maybe it's not quite that good. You have a funnel that's like really sick and needs to be rushed to the emergency room, needs to go to the hospital. And then even worse than that is maybe you have a funnel that's on the deathbed and quite frankly needs to be put out of its misery, and you need to go back to the drawing board and kick up something else different than that. And then the last one there with the yellow smiley face, or it's already dead. You need somebody, Jay or myself or an honest friend, to tell you, hey, it's dead, you need to move on. So those are the different buckets of people that could benefit from funnel triage. Jay, do you have anything to add to those categories there?
You know, the only thing I would say about that is don't be afraid to move on. I cannot tell you the amount of time I spent trying to tweak. And I think this is where the silliness that you were alluding to earlier, Cody, which was, oh, an orange button is going to make all the difference. No, if the offer's a piece of shit and the funnel's a piece of shit, let it die and move on. Because orange, pink, blue, or red will not make a fundamental difference. And I just see people rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic over and over and over again. Sometimes, like, let the damn thing go down and get her life raft. Anyway, yeah. That's just my opinion.
No, all good. So yeah, what I'm going to show you today is when I broke this down and what I see when we were resuscitating broken funnels or fixing broken funnels or nursing them back to health, there's really 9 different levers you could pull, or 9 buttons to press, or 9 knobs to turn. That's what I'll show you here in this quick training today. So we'll learn how to identify a dead funnel, if it's worth saving, what to do. So what I see people happen there, the slide that says, can you relate? You get an idea and you get really excited about your idea and you're ready for launch and take off and lift off. And then somewhere along the way, the tech can get confusing and you start to wonder about, I don't know, like he said, deck chairs on the Titanic, things that don't really matter consume you. And in reality, there's something else wrong typically. And I'll give you the punchline here is none of the 9 levers are what color is my button or what font should my headline be. That's not what we're talking about. And so you can start to wonder, well, maybe I'm not cut out for this anyways, and maybe it's time to throw in the towel. And maybe this just isn't for me. I'll go either back to my 9 to 5, or I'll get a 9 to 5, or I'll get a side job. And those things are all well and good. But I have this thing I don't share. I'm being encouraged to share it more often publicly. We were given our idea to serve and change the world for a reason. And we owe it to ourselves to honor that idea and to not give up on it. And it didn't come out of nowhere. And if we just kind of try for a minute and then we get discouraged or frustrated, or we launch our 1 funnel away challenge and doesn't work, it's easy to think, well, then this isn't for me and I need to retreat back and give up. And that's not okay. So the real problem is the tech can make it easier than ever to do the wrong thing. Like, it's easy to mess up, if that makes sense. Like, it's easy to, I don't know, start a podcast for free or whatever. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that, but it's easy because the technology makes it easy. So it's easy to get into doing the wrong thing. And then the 1 funnel away, I don't want to call it a lie, but just the disbelief sets in. Now, some people, that's true. Once you get that 1 funnel that pops, you can end up like Jay in the 2 Comma Club award winning funnel. But the road to that is paved with, doing stuff wrong and incorrect and a lot of frustration as well. So we'll try to mitigate that.
Cody, can I just add to that? The piece you were saying about should we be doing things? And there's an interesting study because we're working on building our app for JVology. We're launching this global community of JVology local lounges and all of these pieces. And I've been doing an inordinate amount of research. And here's the honest to goodness truth, which shocked me when I first heard it, is that the success rate of small businesses is actually falling. It has never been easier to get the tools. It's never been easier to reach our market. It's never been easier to start a business, all those shit. But people are failing faster. Is what used to be like an 80% failure rate in 3 years is now like an 85% in 18 months. So what you're saying is incredibly accurate. By the way, I have this slide up that has a computer and a clock and a bunch of things. Am I in the right slide for you, brother?
Yeah, the next one is the Rocky thing, throw on the towel. Then the next one says the real problem. And then the next one has my favorite slide of the whole deck of the guy that the before and after picture looks the same.
Okay, so I should be on the real problem. Is that right?
Yeah, go to the next one where you start to feel like you're working hard and getting nowhere. So if you can see that picture there, the before and after picture is the same. Like you work hard for a long time and then you check in and your bank account looks the same. And I was watching I was at the gym this morning and there was 30 TVs in front of the elliptical trainers and it was talking about stock futures and I don't even understand a lot of that stuff. And some of the options were unchanged. Like that was an option. Like some was up, some was down, and some were unchanged. And that's what this picture makes me think of is we try really hard and nothing really happens. So Jay, you can just kind of click through. I don't really have much narration here, but what you'll see next in the next, 10 or so slides are just kind of proof that this has worked. And some of the different campaigns I've worked on, there's a free book giveaway that has an opt-in page, 82%. And then another opt-in page. I forget what the exact funnel was because I didn't name it very clearly, but the opt-in rate was 84%. So there's a formula to doing this in a way that works. And then you don't have to know how to code or be a designer. You don't have to be good, quote unquote, at marketing. And I'll show you this kind of simple framework that works even if you're just getting started.
Look, and can I just address this because I think people don't know what the standards are. Literally, I was at a marketing seminar I guess it'd be a couple of years ago. And there was a woman up there saying, it's like, if you had a 25% opt-in rate, you'd be knocking out of the park. And I almost fell off my chair. It's like, I think that's a, take to the hospital funnel. And she thought that was fantastic. So these rates are phenomenal. And we all should be so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm on the best part.
Awesome. So yeah, that's the best part there. You don't have to be well known. There's a lot of myths out there like, well, I have to be famous or have a big following, and you don't because of some of the stuff that we'll talk about today. So Jay, click through to the next slide. It says I've been there, and the next one is just kind of my picture of me sitting on the stairs again. And I'm most famous for helping driven entrepreneurs scale with Facebook ads and funnels. Now, this specific training is what to do when the funnel doesn't work like you want. And the next slide is pictures of me and some friends. It's me and Nicholas Kusmich on the top left, and me and Ryan Dice on the right. Ryan is not the tallest. I'm 6'3", and I always kind of joke with him that I really look up to him, like metaphorically look up to him. I don't literally look up to him. And then a picture of me and some of my clients there in the bottom left on a trip to Napa last fall. And then the next slide there is my plaid jacket collection and my pocket square collection. I like to speak and like to teach and train, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. I like to coach people and find a lot of joy in doing that stuff. Next slide is just a few pictures of my family, just for some context, but that's me. I've got 3 sons, Jacob, Luke, and Ben. The picture on the left of me in a blue shirt, we're at San Diego Zoo last summer. And then top right, they got to go to the beach in San Diego for the first time ever, which is part of the fun of, working for ourselves. And I think why we got into entrepreneurship in the first place is to be able to manage our time and have more time freedom and more money freedom and hang out there as well. And then last family picture I'll subject you to is me and my wife. We like to travel. And she's an event planner and she has really interesting clients. And so we get to travel to my events and to her events and always try to find a nice meal while we're there. But the last one there, it says, you and I are similar. That was a picture of me and my kiddos playing video games when my wife was out of town. So it's not this, it's not me on this high castle that has cracked this code, but I figured some stuff out and I want to share that with you as well. So Jay, keep going there. It says, if I can do it, you can too. Then again, a bunch more slides of different case studies of different niches that I've worked in. Some of these are my own funnels. Some of them are client funnels of 80% opt-in rates. And then there's a bunch of screenshots of Facebook ad campaigns. I'm kind of obsessed with lead generation. I just see that I've never met a business owner of any kind that doesn't want more qualified leads or says, no, I've actually got enough leads and I don't need any more ever. So mastering this to me has become very important. And so
if I can just echo again, sub $2 leads. Well, this one here is sub $1 lead. That's like holy grail stuff. Like I had a live stream that we did a little while ago, and we were at $18 opt-ins. Clearly, we adjusted that campaign, but this is phenomenal.
Yeah, and they kind of go up in spend. Just for some context, some of these are a couple $100, some are a couple thousand, some are tens of thousands. And I don't know what there's. You can keep going.
I'm at the 904K.
That was over a year. That one slide was over a year. Spent 163K, which may sound like a lot, but made 904K, so just shy of $1 million. So 552% return on ad spend. So put in $1, got $5.52 back out. The next slide is 5,000 leads at $3, 273 at $3, but really interesting return on ad spend in those as well. So just again, for some context, I spend several $100,000 a year on Facebook ads. And then the last one, let's see. So they're all kind of the same. They're all kind of, I just want enough proof, I guess, that this has worked. There's a couple of ClickFunnels, the last two slides there, Jay, before we get to the actual framework of the Venn diagram.
I'm at 36K spent, 644 revenue.
Yeah, you can keep going. So yeah, the next one after that is a ClickFunnels screenshot there of thousands and thousands of leads. That very top line, if you've never seen the ClickFunnels back office, the top line there is a 53% opt-in rate, 3,500 leads on that campaign, 158K in program sales off of that exact funnel. And then the average cart value, just a couple $100, so not a high ticket funnel. The next one was slightly higher, that next screenshot. The next slide is a couple different iterations there. So the opt-in rates don't look as interesting, but 216K, $8 per click. So every time we got a click to that funnel, it made $8, which is great. You know, Facebook clicks typically cost, depending on your market, 10 cents to $1.50, something like that. So that was really amazing return on ad spend too. So I think I'll stop with the proof part. That was all the slides I put in there around that. So Jay, go to the Venn diagram there.
Can I just add to this?
Yeah.
There was a funny meme floating around on Facebook a little while ago. And it was I'm going to say a 22-year-old kid looking at his Shopify store, and he had, I don't know, he sold $800. and the caption was, "Fantastic. Now it's time to start my Launch Your Shopify e-course."
Right.
And there's just so many people in the space selling their success, which is a little bit on the narrow side, shall we say.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you sharing those things because it separates the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done it. Done it over and over again in different niches and stuff. It's been really fun and interesting to work with, but that's how I've been able to extrapolate what's working, what's not working, what are the commonalities, what are the patterns that I can now teach you today. So this one will be interesting, Jay. This one slide, I wish I was able to see it or control the clicker there in Calgary, but I can't.
You just tell me what to do, I'll do it, man.
So you can just kind of slowly click through. So there's click 3 times and it'll pop. Did you see the Venn diagram there, right?
You betcha.
So there's
I'm also typing in the chat window. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no
I tell you I'll do it, and then I say, "Oh, just wait."
Yeah, no problem. So I'll give you an overview of this, and then Jay, you can click to get caught up. But there's 3 main areas that you need to master, and the intersection of these 3 areas are, if they all are working, then your funnel is working. If your funnel is not working, it's one of these 3 areas. And if you click 3 times, you'll see the words in black there are market, mechanism, and message. And I'll unpack each one of those.
I did test this stuff in terms of how it looked on my screen, but now that we're broadcasting it has MARKE with T down on the line. So just for future reference, it wasn't like that when I tested it, but it is now that we broadcast.
Yeah, hopefully the screenshots of the funnel success that I've had will build enough trust that I also know how to make a PowerPoint that doesn't have that line carry, and it's a lost in translation deal. I need like a flip chart like behind my head. I can just kind of draw this out, but. So thank you. This might be all messed up, but we'll see. This will all be fun. Like you said, we'll have a lot of fun working through this. So it's one of 3 things. Number 1, your market. Number 2, your mechanism. Number 3, your message. And we'll unpack each one of those as well. So Jay, if you click 3 more times, it should fill in red text somewhere near the intersection of 2 of the 3 circles.
It did.
So if you have the market and the message, we'll cover this one first. What that means is you have fans. So if you've dialed in your market and it makes a ton of sense and you're speaking their language, and then you also have a message that resonates with them, that will build you a lot of fans. And fans is fine, but remember a few slides ago, I said you don't have to be famous to become very rich. You don't have to do that. So I don't have any problem with having a lot of fans, but I'd rather have a lot of people giving me money or giving my clients money along the way. So no problem with that, but it's incomplete. And the second thing, if you have a great market, and you have a great mechanism, like a machine that's like churning out conversions, then you have a lot of leads. Now, same thing, you may not have a lot of fans. Like for example, my 1-hour funnel book, I get, I don't know, several dozen opt-ins a day. That just means that they're leads and they don't know who I am yet. They don't know if they like me, dislike me. They don't know if they resonate with my message. They just opted in. They're now on my list, so they're a lead. So leads are also great, but also incomplete. And then at the bottom, if you have the right message, and the right mechanism, to me, that's a machine that's idle. It's ready to create conversions. It's just sitting there. So you use all your messaging tactics and you use your ClickFunnels or lead pages, or then I'm kind of platform agnostic. I like ClickFunnels a lot, but whatever platform you use, it's just ready. So now we have a little bit more pieces of the puzzle here. So a market and a message without the mechanism will get you a ton of fans, incomplete. Market and mechanism without the message will get you leads, but they need to resonate with you, and then the machine. So it's the whatever, symbiosis, is that a word? The symbiotic relationship of those three things coming together that will make your funnel work. So if it's not working, I'm suspect. It's one of those three. And then Jay, we'll click through unless you have any questions or comments on that. But now we'll just kind of dive deeper into each one.
I got all of them up.
Cool. So click 3 more times, and above market should pop up defined demographic, pain, and results.
Yep.
So let's talk about each one of those. And this is kind of the crux of the whole presentation. So we'll just be on this slide for a few minutes here. So what I mean by defined demographic is you have a defined demographic. You know exactly who your funnel is for. And it's not for people. It's not for humans. It's not for, like, let's get more specific. Is it for men or women? I'll just use myself as an example. I'm 38 and I'll just kind of spill the beans here. I drive a minivan. I have 3 sons. I go to church. I go to a gym. I wear a certain brand of clothing. I work from home. Those are all of my traits and characteristics. And so if you're building a product for people like me, maybe you would want to use those type. In fact, this morning I was thinking I'm going to go shoot a video in my minivan because that might attract like other people like me that understand the joy of having a minivan and how practical it is, right? It's not me in a rented Ferrari or like a rented private jet. That's not who I am. So if you want to reach people like me, but my kids like to play sports, I like to eat pretty healthy. Think through, those are demographic things. And then we can also talk about the pain as well, but think through the pain and the discomfort that people might be feeling. And I want to go a little bit more on the defined demographic before I move on. I want you to think about their average day. Think about their status. Think about how they see themselves. Think about what they might tell themselves, whether it's good or bad stuff. And a great example I like to use that really brings this to life, it's so simple, is if you were selling lawn care services to me. Let's say I'm your exact demographic, the cul-de-sac, the 1-story house with the basement, the minivan, the kids, the whole deal, right? If you understand my average day, I just did this with my 12-year-old yesterday. I taught him how to mow. Finally, I was like, I'm going to teach this kid how to mow. It's time. And so we were out there mowing, but I had to get my old shoes, and there's a little bit of gas left in the gas tank, and it stinks and it made a mess. I didn't start the mower all winter. So when I started it was a big cloud of smoke and that smelled bad. We had to bag the grass afterwards. My point is it was sweaty, it was stinky, and it took about an hour. So if I saw ad copy that said, hey, do you want your Sunday morning back? I'd be like, yes, I want my Sunday morning back. I would rather lay on the couch and watch basketball highlights than everything I just said. And so whatever pain or problem or result that you provide, whatever pain or problem you help people get away from towards whatever beautiful, amazing results you get, like think through their average day and their status, and think through that in as vivid language as possible so you can bring it to life. Literally, if I was writing that ad copy, I would say, hey, like, are you a dad that, or does that say something like, does this story sound familiar? You wake up early, you find your crappy clothes, the ones with the holes in it. You know, the one that you got it when you were on that softball tournament a few years ago with the holes in the armpits, and you put that on and you find your grassy shoes that used to be a shade of white, but now they're kind of light green because of all the grass clippings. You pray you've got some gas left in the container. You fill it up, you spill some, it smells, it's on your fingers. You take it out, it's rusty, you start it, it's a cloud of smoke, and on and on and on, right? I would literally write that as an ad copy. And
just on that note of making things real, because I can see from comments, if you are watching this and you want to comment and say hello, just click on the video screen, like click on Cody's nose, because I can tell that there's people watching who aren't in this chat window, and we can't communicate with you unless you're watching from the broadcast page. So just take the button, click there, and then come on over here and say hello. Carry on with the specifics of making things real. Yeah.
So that's, I just want to encourage people to be as vivid as possible. And that's, if your funnel's not working, there's a chance you haven't defined your demographic very well, because everything I just said in that example is specific to me in that case, in that pain. I've been going kind of deep on this one part, but I hope you understand that makes sense. So for me, with a product, or like I'm hosting a live event in June, who's that for? And the more specific I can get and understand that demographic and the pain that they're going through, the problems that they have, what do they find frustrating, then the more I can speak to them and serve them, and it makes the rest of my life easier. The last part of the market, so define demographic, understanding and empathizing with their pain and what they find frustrating, and maybe what they're afraid of, what keeps them up at night. The last part is to help people get a result. This needs to be a market where you have proven that you can get those types of people a result, ideally, over and over again. If you haven't done it yet, then make yourself the market. The joke with the Shopify store, the guy that made $800, you see that in fitness too. Somebody will lose 5 pounds and then they'll become a fitness influencer. It's like, hey, download my program on how I lost 5 pounds. That's okay because you're your own case study. It's kind of fun to make fun of those types of people, but you need to be able to demonstrate you've gotten results. And that's what I just showed you in like 15 slides. Hey, I've gotten results for people like you that are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small team, typically with a course or a product or a book or something that they're selling. I've done it over and over and over again. And that's proven that that's a market that I can serve. Jay, any feedback on market, demo, pain, results?
No, I just know the only line I would add to that is that if we can tap into the conversation that's going on in their head that they're not courageous enough to say out loud, that means we know them, they know we know them, and away we go.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, that's exactly right. So click a few more times. Now we'll build out what could be wrong with the mechanism. And here's what I mean by this. I wanted to find a great M word. I went with mechanism. Maybe there's a different word, but I mean the machine or the way that we're converting that traffic and that market, the way we're adding them to our list and then inviting them and making them great offers. So what I kind of mean by that is your funnel. Like what does that look like? What's the promise? What do they think they're going to be getting? And I'll use some hyperbole examples to prove a point. Are they opting in for I remember like Brendan Burchard said he had written an email a day for 365 days. Like, cool, that sounds like a lot. And I like Brendan. I think he's a fine marketer, smart guy. Are they opting in for a 600-page ebook? Are they opting in for a 19-part video series where the videos are 45 minutes each? Now I'm exaggerating. Nobody would do that in their right mind. But maybe what we're offering them, maybe that's the first one there is consumable. Maybe what we're offering them isn't consumable. They don't really want it that way. They would rather watch a 4-minute video or have a 1-page checklist. And that's kind of the punchline when it comes to lead generation. I mentioned earlier, I'm obsessed with lead generation. A 1-page checklist, cheat sheet, download, PDF, a table, a quiz, something that they can grab right away. Could be a script, could be a template, could be, in my head, that's also like a recipe. So if you're a literal recipe, it could be a recipe for a successful sales call. Like, hey, say these words or send this one email to your list to reignite them, like a 9-word email. That's a great lead magnet, template, checklist, cheat sheet. It's not everything under the sun. It's not the encyclopedia. It's not a 500 video series. So make sure that what you're offering them is consumable in a way that they want to consume it. And that's the thing too, when people are pivoting on their funnels and their offers, I recommend try different stuff. This funnel triage thing, I think I've hit a nerve. Like lots of people are enjoying this type of content I'm sharing with you now. Jay and I talked about it recently and it's like, let's try that. And my tribe loved it. It's like, well, this is something then. How can I get this to them? Does this need to be a live training like it is right now? Webinar cheat sheet, like what is the best way to get this out to people? And so if you try a video or if you try a PDF or try a download or try an ebook or whatever, like just try different stuff until you see what your market likes, and then you can get their feedback. The second thing is your funnel should be converting, right? Like Jay mentioned, maybe a 20-25% opt-in rate is okay. But as you've seen, it's very possible that you can have a 50% plus opt-in rate, 70% plus, 80% plus. 90% plus starts to get a little spammy. You're like, is that real? Like you need to get out more. If you have a 90% opt-in rate, you need to be advertising probably more aggressively until that comes down a bit. It's almost too high.
Cody?
Yes, sir.
What's your red flag number? So when you're testing a funnel and it's doing its thing, what is it? It's like, damn, we have to reinvent that, or we'll let it ride for a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, typically under 20%, and it's market specific. So it depends if you're used to it. Like we all know those people that they are very, one of my clients, he wants $300 phone calls. Like that's one of his metrics. Yep. Like, great. That means we need to get $3 leads and then reverse engineer the math and convert enough that they'll end up on the phone call with him. I have attorneys or financial planners. They want $50 leads because they know they can convert. You didn't ask lead cost, you asked conversion rate, but that might play into that as well. Like if the page is good enough, then it should be converting at least 20%, 20 to 40%. Below that would be a red flag on a conversion side. Something's up. And then, so that's why these are all interconnected. then you got to go back to maybe it's the wrong demographic. Maybe I'm not identifying their pain or speaking them in their language as much. Maybe I've never been in this market before. And I don't have any proven results. Maybe they didn't want my 900-page ebook, so they're all interconnected.
That couldn't be true, could it?
Couldn't be true. People love long ebooks. The last one there is that the mechanism is engaging. So same thing, like what is appropriate? I have a different training on this. I don't have a slide for this, but we get a lot of different ways to do the work in the people we want to serve. Meaning if I can demonstrate on this training right now that I can get you a result, I'm building some level of trust with you right now because you're seeing my face. I'm adding value to what your day is like for people that are watching this. And so if you saw one of my ads now, it wouldn't need to say a whole lot. Like, oh yeah, I know that guy. That's Cody. He taught this stuff about funnel triage and he does a lot of online marketing stuff. I'm in. So that ad could say, hey, are you in? And you'd be like, yes, I am. And then you click it and you opt in. And then the landing page could be the same thing. It could be very simple and say, hey, thanks for clicking on my ad. Do you want this thing that I made? The funnel triage, whatever diagram. Yes, I do. I want in, and you're in. If it's not in, if you don't have that amount of credibility, you need to tell great stories and build trust in the ad, or build trust and great stories on the landing page. Meaning your landing page, if it's not converting very well, do you need more testimonials to prove that you have done this before? Do you need some case studies or screenshots of people you've helped just like them? Do you need a video of yourself on that page, which can build more trust when they can see your face and watch your lips move and hear your voice? That's what I mean when I say engaging. Make sure your mechanism is engaging in the way it needs to be engaging based on the interest level of the people that are hitting that page, if that makes sense.
Can I give one super fast example?
Yeah.
A friend and client of mine had a garage restoration place. Like they would do floors and cabinets and all that stuff. And literally, they did a couple of tweaks once they found out who their client was, which was an older couple who had already done everything they could to the house. The last piece of the house, and usually it was like a 1960s bungalow, the last piece of the house was the garage. And literally, when they put a picture of sort of an aging couple, the Calgary Tower in the background, because they wanted to be clear that the tools and the resources, the epoxy would last a Canadian winter. Literally, they had to turn the website off because it was so overwhelming in terms of the number of leads. But they spent probably a year and a half trying to figure that out. And all it was image of Calgary for Canadian winters, for a picture of a couple, bungalow on the front street, and a messy garage, done. It was crazy. So, but that's that whole engaging. It just spoke right to them.
Yeah.
Next three.
Yep, hit it. We'll wrap this up. This is great. So the next three are that you have a message that is empathic, like and back to that pain part, that you understand them, you see them, you get them. So in Jay's example, like the opposite of that would be a picture of a teenager in an apartment. Like, okay, that's the wrong message. Like, I don't identify with their pain. I don't have my market dialed in. I don't know how to speak to these people. But understand, you could even tell in that example, you could tell even some vivid stories about what it's like to try to keep a garage clean, or what it's like how they feel when somebody, sees their garage. Do they just drive in and they close it right behind them because they don't want anybody to see in? Then that speaks to some status and some pride of imagine having the best garage on the block or whatever, like what that can be like. So that empathizing with what their day is like, with what their plight is like, with how they see themselves, the conversations that they're having, like Jay said, that they're not willing to admit to themselves, is really interesting. Number two, that the message that you're providing is very clear, and the message you're providing is very frequent, which might mean you need to send more than one email a year, or do more than one Facebook Live ever, or do more than one webinar or invitation, or do more than one value video to people to teach them what it is that you know or how you see the world. So I'm really a big fan. There's no magic formula for frequency other than, for me, I host 3 podcast episodes a week. I try to do at least 1 or 2 Facebook Lives like this a week. And I just talk to a ton of people all the time. So like I'm frequently putting out content, and Jay, you do this really well as well. That's very frequent and it's very clear. This is for these types of people that have this type of problem. Seth Godin calls it people like us do things like this. And that's what people start to see in your messaging as you put that out there into the world. It starts to attract the right people and into your funnel here, and then it all starts to work. So if your funnel, there's a few more slides after this, but if your funnel is not working, it's one or more of these 9 things, and it's not all 9. If it is, then you're in serious trouble. Hire me immediately. Wire me as much money as you have, and we'll get it fixed. But it's usually 1 or 2 of these things that you've missed, and it's a simple tweak. And then you can, this is the, this can be the aspirin, drink a lot of water and take a nap on the couch and you'll be good to go tomorrow. Could be a tweak to a headline or how you're communicating to your tribe there too. So that's the 9. I've got a few more like symptoms on the next pages, Jay, if you want to chat through that, unless you have any final thoughts on this.
Of a dead funnel.
So Jay, you touched on this a bit, the next 2 slides. So sign of a dead funnel, you can go ahead and click through. I don't mind if they're all up there at once. If you have a dead funnel or dead or dying funnel, a super low opt-in rate, so less than 20% again is a big sign. Like there's something up with this. Your conversion rate should be way higher than that. I'm going to try not to use too much jargon. There's a lot of C's on here, but CPL is cost per lead and CPA is cost per acquisition. So typically cost per sale or like cost to get a customer. And it depends on your market. I would encourage you to kind of know your numbers. And like I know for myself, to get a book download, it's a couple bucks. So if I started to see a book download at $12, something's up. It's the messaging, it's the market, it's how I'm explaining it, it's the offer. There's something about that shouldn't be the case. And as you've been in business for a while, you start to get a feel for what your cost per lead or cost per acquisition could be. If you have low conversions on your sales page, you typically see a 1 to 3% conversion on a sales page. So it might be you give them a free thing. Like for me, it'd be the 1 hour funnel book. Then there's an offer on the thank you page. Hey, while you're here, here's what I know about you. You probably have these types of problems because you just downloaded a book that taught you how to build funnels faster. Now you might need this thing. That should convert like 3 to 5%. Let's just statistically send 100 people, make 3 to 5 sales. That should be how that goes. So low conversions, something's up with that as well on the previous slide here. And then if you have a high CPM is cost per mil or cost per thousand, you can get, that's indication if you're running Facebook ads. That's where I live. If you have other traffic sources, that's fine. But for Facebook ads, you can get cost per 1,000 impressions, $5 to $9. So if you're over 20, again, something's up. Your messaging is up, your offer, something's up, how you're talking to them, how you're engaging with them. People aren't engaging with your content. And then Facebook's starting to shut your ad down and say, hey, I'm going to stop showing this because people don't like it. I'm going to make it harder for people to see this because people aren't engaging. They're not commenting. They're not clicking. They're not reacting to the ad itself. And then the last one there is a low click-through rate. And again, I mean, on an ad, you'll see different stuff. Like if you ever do, I don't know, banner ads or whatever people do now, I just do Facebook ads. But a low click-through rate could be something less than 1 to 3%. Again, something's up. The messaging's up. The image is up. Something like that. So those are some indications. I'm going to make a scorecard like this. I don't have it yet, but just a quick scorecard. So back to the last slide would be a great, lead magnet that people can start to rate themselves. If you think your funnel is dead or dying, where would you rate yourself on these key metrics here? So go to the next slide, Jay. I've got a little table. So there's really, I did my best attempt at saying if you have these symptoms, so if you do have a low click-through rate, my opinion is that your messaging is off. If you have a high cost per 1,000, cost per impression, your messaging's off again. You're saying something wrong in the wrong way. If your landing page isn't converting, there's something broken in your funnel. If your opt-in rate's there, you're not speaking to your market correctly. You haven't identified your market where people, again, the Seth Godin thing, people like us do things like this. Something's off on that. And then if you have low buyers or something again in your funnel, you're bringing in the wrong people, you're speaking them in the wrong way, you're converting them in a way they don't want to be converted or they're not ready to be converted yet. And those are some symptoms there. So we've got a few more slides here, Jay, then we'll talk about next steps. But the next slide is just kind of a reminder of the Venn diagram there for people if they want to take a screenshot of that or whatever. And of course, I can give that to anybody that would like to see that image if that's helpful, assuming that your word wrap is off, and I'll fix that for people on here. And then Jay, we can talk about the next steps, but the last slide of this part of the presentation is which one do you have? Do you have a sick funnel, a dying funnel, or a dead funnel? And what do you need to do about that? And then the next few slides, Jay, Jay and I were talking about, well, what if there was a hospital where they could get this diagnosed and made well and get figured out? What slide are you on, Jay?
I'm on which do you have, sick, dying, or dead? But I was reading, Eileen said, yikes. And I said, yikes what? And she said, if all of these things aren't working. So a couple of things. Scott, yes, this is a Facebook Live, so it's totally recorded. But what if you were in Eileen's spot? What should she do?
So if all these things aren't working, I have a hunch you may have a dead funnel and you need to go back to the drawing board. And where I typically start, if you think you need a 15-step funnel, my intuition is no, you don't. And I would start getting ways figured out where you can be converting leads on a regular basis. So back to the drawing board in that way. What does your market need? What is an area where you've gotten consistent results that you can provide them a quick win that's consumable, that they can download recipe, cheat sheet, checklist, download, get a result, and go, that was amazing. I've never been able to get results like this before, but Eileen just helped me get a result. I now like myself more, and I like Eileen more. I wonder what else she has. I wonder what she has next that can help me get an even better result, an even bigger result. Not knowing your niche, I'll just throw some out there just for some simple examples. Let's say you were in
the financial. She helps businesses get funding and people get funding to grow their business.
Gotcha. So you could put together something like a how to get more funding for my business checklist, which might be, I don't know, I'm just going to guess and say a bunch of wrong things, but it might be how much recurring revenue do you have? It could be a quick scorecard, whatever you've seen to be the 5 most important things that they need to get funding for their business. Or the opposite. If you have these are the 5 get my business more money deal killers. And it's just a list. It's a checklist that they download to know if they're able to get more funding more easily. And then you also have an indication of if you can help them or not. And the people that would download that, I have a hunch, and that might not be like the best idea. That's the first one that came to mind, but that could be something that would attract the right person, that when they raise their hand and say, I need this checklist because I'm looking for more funding, you provide it to them and you say, hey, my guess is you're looking for more funding because you downloaded my checklist to see if you're ready to get more funding. Here's other ways I help people like you get a result like that. Would you be interested in having a conversation or whatever that feels like? So that ends up being a 2-page funnel, simple checklist, cheat sheet, opt-in page, and a thank you page with the next step, whatever that is for your business. So that's where I would encourage anybody to start. If they're like, I don't know where to get started, I would do that, something that gets them leads consistently. And then, take it from there. That's usually the first step.
Yeah. Very cool. Now I'm on the higher converting. So, and there is a way to use Facebook ads and funnels is the page that I'm on.
Yep. So you want to get this figured out. So you can keep clicking through that and I'll just read through as you click through, but the only smart way forward is to get this figured out, to get marketing and advertising dialed in your business and then be able to do it over and over and over again. And so here's how I can help people do that. And here's how Jay can also help because Jay's going to be a part of this. So here's exactly how I can help you. And you can click through to the slide that just says 1 hour funnel live. So
I'm there.
I'm hosting a live event with Jay. He'll be there as well. It's in Denver in June that teaches more about this process here. It's the live experiential version of the concepts taught on this training and the concepts taught in the book, the 1 hour funnel. And it'll help you dial in your marketing and your advertising strategy so you can get more leads and get more sales in your business. So I've come up with a special offer for people on this live stream. Jay, assuming that's okay if we talk about
100%.
that.
That's why. And just to be clear, my echo here. I invited a bunch of the people in our lead group, in our JVology group, all those sorts of things, knowing that you were going to give a special invitation to this piece. And by the way, I'm also going to be speaking there about joint ventures to drive more traffic to funnels. So would love to see you all there. So fill them in and give them the best you got, brother.
All right, amazing. So there's 3 parts to this special invitation here for this group that are on the live stream here. So the first thing is an event ticket. Okay, so I'm assuming you're on that slide, Jay. So it's a refundable seat deposit and none of the funny stuff of us hiding the check behind our back. It's you walk in, you get registered, you get your name tag, and you get your check back. For those that are keeners, if you want to go, the URL's right there. It's 1hourfunnellive.com/join. And you'll have a few options there. There's 2 options. One is the seat deposit ticket. And then the second is if you want to upgrade your experience to VIP, you can do that there. It's just $100 more. And then it's not a refundable seat deposit. It's a VIP ticket that's lunches with me and with Jay, pre-event function, pre-function mastermind, pre-function wine and cheese the night before, and a bunch of other goodies I have up my sleeve there as well. So this offer, again, has 3 parts. The first is the event ticket. The second part of this is the 21-day roadmap, which will get you access to, it's a 21-day mini course with many activities to be able to do to lead up to the event. As I mentioned, I've got a podcast that I host, so I've got 160 episodes. I won't make you listen to all 160, but there's short podcast episodes, 7 to 10 minutes, that'll help you know how to see lead generation differently or how to think about funnels and advertising differently. Some of it's mindset stuff, some of it's great marketing tips and practical stuff you can implement. So when you show up there, you are fully ready and locked in and ready to go. And then the third thing, this was originally available just to VIPs, but we're going to do a pre-function mastermind. And as a part of this special offer here, people that sign up on this and go to 1hourfunnellive.com/join, we're going to unlock access to that as well. So it'll be a pre-function mastermind. I've done this before. I did it, Jay, at your event. It was amazing to be so locked in before the event even started. With a lot of people come with one big question or one big thing they want to get out of the event. And so to get that really clear, either get the answer and the solution, or at least get the next steps before the event even starts is amazing. It makes the event, worth it in and of itself. So this all here on the slide there that has all the stack, Jay, the ticket, the roadmap, and the mastermind, is just $197 for the refundable seat deposit. And you can get it by going to onehourfunnellive.com/join. And then Jay, go ahead and click through, because I think the venue is really interesting. My wife is an event planner, and we've picked out an amazing venue in downtown Denver. There's an exterior shot. There's an interior shot. That interior shot of the lobby with the wooden hand coming out of the ceiling, I posted that on Instagram, and somebody said, hey, that looks like so-and-so's work. And then so-and-so replied back like, yep, that's me. So I got connected to the artist that made that massive wooden hand on Instagram, which is kind of bizarre. He lives here in Colorado Springs, where I live. And then there's a picture of the venue space, Jay, with the sliding doors. Really amazing venue space. There's room for 72 people there, selling lots of tickets. We're going to sell out at some point. And so I would say if anybody's on the fence, this is your best shot at coming to the event and taking up on this offer, picturing your butt in one of those seats there in that room. It's going to be a really amazing thing. And then there's a picture of coffee, because I'm kind of a coffee nut. Jay and I share that in common. They have in-room pour over coffee. So they grind the beans the night before and they put them in your room so that you can make pour over. There's an electric kettle to heat up your water and have in-room pour over coffee. Nicholas Kusmich is a Facebook ads guy. He said some nice things about me, that there's a lot of noise out there in the funnel world, and Cody cuts through it with his simple approaches and proven strategies, and a few other words of wisdom here. Alan Briggs, he's an author and entrepreneur here in town. He says, Cody knows this funnel world inside and out. If you're looking to take your business to the next level, this is time and money well spent. So Alan will be at the event. And a friend of mine, his name's Jeff. He runs a mobile orthodontics truck business. I helped him with their ads. They were scaling so fast, and we had a ton of fun. And I just liked how he phrased it, that Cody's a talented marketer that has surrounded himself with the best minds in the space, and it shows. And that learning is now your learning, and you should high five yourself. I thought that was kind of funny.
Swanky Smiles. I love that name.
Swanky Smiles. Yeah. And then Jay, I added one more slide here. So go to the one that says need more support, and you can click through that as slow or as fast as you want. It's the second to last slide, because there were some people that I know need more help, or they want to get more done. And they don't want to wait for the event in June. And so what I decided to do, and ask Jay if he minded if I did this, but I am adding in, I have a beautiful course, professionally shot. It's called 1 Hour Funnel. It teaches the concepts taught in the book. It's broken into 3 modules. I didn't have a slide with all the millions of things in it. It's a short course. A lot of people think it's a 50, I did a 22-hour course once and just never finished. It's about a 3-hour course. It's extremely dialed in. The videos are short. They're 3 to 5 minutes each, which was difficult and intentional, so you don't get overwhelmed with a 20-minute video. There's 3 modules. My whole framework is plan it, say it, do it. There's funnel templates. There's scripts. There's downloads. There's cheat sheets and checklists and resources and software and tools, and everything you need is in that course. So if you want to upgrade your experience at the event, I'll add the course, and that's no additional charge. It's currently available on my site for $590. I like the number 59. I think it's interesting. It's people that can build a funnel in an hour or 59 minutes or less. So a lot of my stuff ends in 59 or starts in 59. So that course is $590, $10 a minute to build out a 1 hour funnel. And you can get it. I'll just add it for people that decide to upgrade their experience to VIP. So you can go to that site, just pick either one of those. When you go to onehourfunnellive.com/join, you can do the refundable seat deposit for $197, or the VIP experience, $297, lunch every day with the speakers, with me, with Jay, pre-event mastermind, pre-event wine and cheese. I don't know, never know what to call that. I'm an introvert. Mixer. We'll do that thing where we get together, introduce each other. You also get priority access to the event space, which is small, but you'll be able to sit closer, and then priority access to masterminds. Just like we did really briefly here with Eileen and other people. I love masterminding or putting people on the hot seat. Sorry, I said that wrong. Hot seat is what I meant to say. Where you can say, hey, here's my business. Here's the pain point. What do you think? And with 72 people there, I don't know that we'll be able to get to everybody, but those that are VIP will be at the front of the line to be able to have their business workshopped, be on the hot seat, and get all the support that you need. So that's what I got. That's the best I got.
That's fantastic. Chandra Linwin was asking, do you have a hotel deal negotiated?
Yes, there is a hotel deal negotiated. You have until May 16th, I think, to book at the host hotel. We've set aside a room block for people that are staying at the host hotel. I need to also print this out and make it easily accessible. The hotel is so amazing. It has an attached marketplace. I don't know how to explain it. It has an attached market with a chocolate place and a pizza place and a florist and a coffee place. It's just amazing. And when you stay at the hotel, you get a morning espresso drink. They have an Airstream trailer in the lobby, and then you get an adult beverage in the evenings for people staying at the hotel, and you get discounts at all those other places, which is really cool. So if you want coffee or flowers or chocolate or pizza or whatever, you get discounts there. So tons of reasons to stay at the host hotel. I think room rates are $229 US a night. The rack rate for the hotel is $450 a night, something like that in June. So we're really pleased with the rate that we have. And again, my event planner, amazing wife, got that great deal for us all there. So highly encourage you to stay on site at the hotel.
And if you're in the mood, they do apparently have a wicked margarita at the Airstream.
That's what I've heard. Yeah. I've in fact, hey Jay, I don't know if you know this, we're going there tomorrow to stay the night, shoot some video, shoot some photos, and just kind of get in the essence. I'll work out in the gym, swim in the pool. I'll tell you how the margaritas are. I'll report back.
That sounds great. Gang, are there any other questions we could answer for you? Please type them in the window here. We're happy to answer and hang out for a moment or two. Do you need the slides anymore, or should I bring that down?
No, all good. Yeah, the URL's there on the screen there. It's onehourfunnellive.com/join. And yeah, it'd be awesome to host you. I know there's a few people that are going to be there that are on this call. Recognize some familiar names here. And of course, Jay will be there as well. So I'm looking forward to hosting people at this event. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, me too. Me too. All right. I don't see any questions popping up. Oh, hotel name and code. I think, Chandra, all of that comes when you register, but is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So right when you sign up, whichever level you select, you'll be added to the email sequence and you'll get that. I think it's a 3-minute delay and then all the hotel info. And thank you, Kathleen, for being on. Yeah. So Chandra, once you sign up, then it'll be emailed to you right away.
Yeah. And the link is right in the little chat window there. If you didn't see it earlier, Chandra. I can put it again, though, just for simplicity. Or maybe I cannot. Copy and paste is not so good. But it's right below. All right, gang. So, brother, I got to hustle here as well. I've got a call starting in about 30 seconds. So I just want to say, Cody, thank you. One of the things I really appreciate in terms of the funnel triage model is that I see and hear so many times people saying, my funnel didn't work, or Facebook ads don't work, or just what boil down to be basically ridiculous statements that are unfounded. But I have not yet seen anyone standardize where to look. So is this a messaging process? Is this I really love that because I have dissected more and more of my funnels than I can shake a stick at, and I can tell you. I was doing it in my head as I was going around. I didn't use exactly the same words for the titles, but every single time, those are the levers that we've got to explore. And if we don't explore them, you can't expect your funnel to work. I just think that's really powerful and excellent work.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. It was an absolute honor to be able to teach this, and look forward to anybody who's in for June.
All right. So gang, click that button, Jay, I have ClickFunnels. Your thoughts about this? The only thing to say about this is that Cody is a ClickFunnels wizard, and his is the strategy that helps make that tool do what it's supposed to do. So, gang, I would love to hang out with each of you in the beautiful Denver. It's been a long time since I've been back there. I'm excited about it. And if you have any other questions, feel free to post them here. I know both Cody and I will keep an eye on this little the chat process here, and we'll do our best to answer the questions, and we will see you soon. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate you, brother. Have a great day.
See you.
Bye.